What do you say, everybody? Good morning. It's Mike from 14 Guitars here. We're on our way to Wambaw. Haven't been to Wambaw in about a month, I'm thinking. I'll have to review my notes, but it's something like that. Right now, the South Loop is closed, but the North Loop is open. The South Loop has been closed since the 15th because of rain. It's been pretty hot lately. I'm sorry about the camera. I'm doubting that it's still actually too wet to ride. And maybe the Forest Service still hasn't checked the trails because I'm not sure. Now, I could be wrong. But sometimes it takes a while. You know, there are very few people at the Forest Service, and they're managing thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of acres. There's like 5 people working there, so it's a tremendous amount of work they have to do. I'm thankful for what they do on the trails as it is with what they've got to work with. You know, they got so many responsibilities. But I didn't mean this greeting to have anything to do with that. So I might cut that part out. We'll see. Anyway, we're on our way to Wambaw. We're going to ride the North Loop. I put new rings in my bike because I was getting a lot of spooge, a lot more than I usually do. And even though my compression was good, we'll see what the rings, whether the rings makes a difference. One thing is, when I open it up, the thing looks brand new. I had YZ Doc. If you go to Thumper Talk and look up the user YZ Doc, he rebuilt my 2005 motor for me and my 2017. But the 2005, he also put X gears in there. So YZX250 or YZ250X gearing is in the motor that's on my bike right now, even though that motor is a 2005. Love that gearing in all conditions. I was going to just, use that gearing for riding the mountains like Brown Mountain or Brushy, something like that, Enery. But that gearing is perfect everywhere. It's got a wider 4th and 5th, wider spacing, much taller gears, so you can go much faster up in the 70s instead of the 60s. In 5th gear, I think the first and second are exactly the same, and then between 2nd and 3rd a little wider. I can't remember. Definitely 3rd to 4th wider, and 4th to 5th for sure much wider. You can look all that stuff up. I'm going off the top of my head and I haven't thought about it in a while, but my point is the YZX gearing is fantastic and I really enjoy it. And YZ Doc is a friend of mine. He's he talked me through replacing my rings. I've done a top end before, but he said, why don't you just open it up and check it out? If the piston looks good, why replace the whole piston? The thing looks brand new inside with I think it's 62 hours on it. It might be 72, but it's something like 60 to 70 hours of me trail riding. I'm not hard on my bike. I lug the heck out of my bike. I've got the timing retarded 2 degrees. Actually, now it's about 1 degree. That tames the hit, gives you tons of over rev in between gears. You can really wind it out in between gears instead of having to short shift. And it allows you to really lug that thing down. I mean, I lug my bike, as you hear in my videos. There's not a lot of wee. There's like a put, I lug it. Now, the nice thing about lugging is my speed stays high, but there's not a lot of, it's a very mellow ride. Even though you're maintaining speed, it's fairly easy on your body. I'm always trying to preserve energy. I only get to ride, 2 to 4 times a month, 4 times a month at the most. So I'm not riding that often. And, riding a dirt bike, trying to go as fast as I try to go for me at my age, 61, it takes some work, a lot of energy. So by lugging the bike, for me, it's more of a fun ride, less work. I can think more about the ride than the bike. And in the lower gears, if you're cranking it in the lower gears, it's also a little more squirrely, and it's easier for the bike to get away from you. YZ250's got a little bit of spirit, lots of torque, and 46 horsepower, something like that. Anyway, we're riding Wambaw. We're almost there. We'll be there in a minute, and I'm going to ride the North Loop, I believe, twice. I like to make a sight lap, like I did at Enery last Friday. It was the first 5 loops. I rode at about 60% effort, and I was still 80 to 90% of my best speeds out there, 80%, let's say. So that way you're essentially doing a sight lap. You never know if a tree's fallen, something like that. I'm gonna put how far, when the trail riding starts in the video, because I know I'm just yapping this morning. Anyway, so I'm gonna do a sight lap, basically ride the whole North Loop, and then get some water, and then ride it again a little faster, a little more energy on my part for a workout. Today, definitely not trying to set any best times. It's hot, it's summer, it's 76 degrees. That's another thing. I'm here early. I got up at about 6 o'clock this morning, and I'm driving up. By the time I'm in the woods, I'm guessing about 78 degrees. So it's gonna be 97 today. Getting up here early, I get to ride at under 80 degrees. That's a great thing to do in the summer up here. By looking at the road, it rained yesterday. The road still got some puddles on it. I don't know if you can see the shine behind me. Nah, you can't see the reflection in the road very well. But anyway, there's still water on the road. I'm guessing conditions are gonna be epic. So, as I always say for these sandy trails, ride the day after the rain if they stay open. They're gonna be fantastic. Brown sugar sand. You get that sand wet, it turns from a dusty mess to this incredible traction, just fantastic riding. So I can't wait. I'll take you along with me, and we should have a good time. I hope you all are having a great day. I hope you've been out riding. As always, if you enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe. And hit the bell if you would like to be notified anytime I release a new video. Appreciate it. Comments are always welcome, and I really, really do appreciate y'all watching these videos. I'm shocked by how many people I meet at these trails. I think it tells me that maybe there's not a lot of riders in the community here, and I think we need to work on that. Take a kid riding if you get a chance. Get your kids' bikes, or these trails will go away eventually. If there's not people to use these and to fight for these trails, they go away like any other thing that people don't use. All right, have a great one. We'll come back later, and I hope you enjoy the video. All right, everybody, look what we've got. We've got some water on the road here. That's a fantastic sign. That means that the trails are going to be moist today, and the traction is going to be incredible. Get up to Wambaw and go riding. I mean, it is just, oh, I can already see the dirt on the trail. It's fantastic. Man, look at that, more puddles. Oh, this is gonna be great conditions. We're gonna have a great ride today. I will get you up on the video as soon as possible and follow up after the ride. Here we are back at Wambaw. We're gonna ride the North Trail. Looking forward to it, kind of excited. These conditions, I mean, look at this dirt. This dirt is perfect. I mean, it is wet. See the puddles out in the parking lot? There'll be a little bit of water on the trail, but I have found that it's generally not too bad. I haven't been here a while, so this first lap, it's just a sight lap. We'll see how it goes. And I'm gonna ride the North Trail. The South Trail is closed because of moisture, wet conditions. I was saying in my earlier intro video that I wasn't sure that, why it was closed still. It's been closed since the 15th, but seeing the wet conditions here, I can see why. It's probably soaking wet. So, and that's not, when you ride that wet trail, it really tears it up. So I think they've done the right thing by closing it to preserve it. So we're going to do the North Loop twice. First loop is a sight lap, and the second loop will be a little more of a workout. I may just do one loop. We'll see. New rings in the bike. I rode it yesterday to get the rings to seat. Rode it near my warehouse that I run, and we'll see what happens. Should be fun. Hope you enjoy it. Get out to Wambaw. I mean, these conditions, spectacular. do a major warm-up here because I'm just going to take it real easy and warm up on the trail. Let the trail warm up the bike. Check out the conditions. I've got about 8.5 PSI in the rear tire, 10.5 in the front. Yeah, look at that moisture. I did change my jetting. I went down to a, oh my gosh, look at that moisture. Oh, squirrel. NEDJ on clip number 2. That's about a half a clip leaner than the NECJ on 3. The bike really feels like it loves it right now. Really feels like it likes this jetting a lot. We'll see on the ride. We'll see how it goes. My main jet from 170 back down to 168. Now I'm here early, so it's much cooler than I'll be riding in most of the time. We'll lose a little top end with a 168 in there instead of a 170. But in the conditions that I tend to ride in, you know, when it's density altitudes up in the 3000s, 168 is the more appropriate jet. Look up density altitude. We use that in ballistics programming, and I believe you can use it in jetting your bike. Essentially the apparent altitude that the bike is seeing based on temperature and humidity and other functions. So it's a single number that you can use to reference for things affected by the air, like ballistics programming, the flight of a bullet, the performance of an engine. I gotta say, these conditions are spectacular. I may just ride once, one loop this morning. Just check the jetting. And the new, get these new rings all seated in real good. See what kind of spooge we get. Of course, with the way I lug, it's not at all surprising that I get a lot of spooge on my bike. I don't ring out the bike. And you seldom hear it go wee. So the needle might be slightly lean, and the mane feels good. You know, when I'm out doing full throttle, you can hear that real beautiful two-stroke sound. I think the main jet, I don't know. I'll let YZ Doc watch this video and tell me what he thinks. Man, these conditions are so nice. Unlike the last 2 times I rode in the early morning, I've had a little breakfast. I had a piece of Ezekiel toast with a good bit of butter and some strawberry jam on it. So I got a little blood sugar, got some fats and carbs, tiny little bit of protein from the butter. I think there's protein in it, not much. And that was at about 6. So a couple hours ago, it's a small amount, so I don't have a big meal in my stomach taking up all the blood. You know, if you eat a big meal, it's like that's what you go swimming after you eat. It's because the blood is going to your stomach. To digest that meal. There's a bug in my helmet. It's not a biter. That bug is still in my helmet. Come on for the ride. Kind of looks like a June bug. Oh, these conditions are epic. Epic. Just for the sandy parts. One nice thing about good goggles, modern goggles, I've got a bug in my helmet near my face. At least I know he's not going to get in my eye. Otherwise I'd stop. But it looks like a spider, so I also might stop and pull him out. I know a lot of you guys are saying there's no way I'd ride with him. I've lived in the South the majority of my life, and while there are tons of things that will get you, there are a ton more that won't. And this one looks, my instinct, which can be wrong, feels like it's benign. And I just hope he figures out a way out. If not, we'll pull him out when we get back to the parking lot the first time. I don't know if I'm going to go in and ride twice. The bike feels good. I feel good. I don't really feel like a crazy workout today. I worked in my warehouse yesterday. It was 100 degrees and like 50% humidity, so super. I'd call it uncomfortable. It got me pretty dehydrated. I drank a lot of water and some salt. Remember, salt is the biggest electrolyte you're going to lose. It's also the only one that you can quickly replace within minutes. You can take magnesium or potassium in a drink. It can take hours to days to raise those levels. No drink you take will raise your levels quickly, except for salt. Get the rest, magnesium, potassium, etc., electrolytes, from your food. There's a lot more nutrition and far less expense than wasting money on an energy drink if you're a clean eater. Now, if you eat terribly, just if you can't bring yourself to eat good food, then more power to you that those drinks are out there. There's a lot of premixes or powders, stuff that you can mix up that's much cheaper than, say, a bottle of some pre-processed sugary electrolyte drink. Now, sugar is not the enemy. It's not the enemy of getting rehydrated. Sugar improves hydration. So having some sugar, real sugar, in your quote energy drink, something you drink for hydration, real sugar is beneficial. Fake sugar all of them so far mess with your gut health, also affect your body believes it's sugar and processes it in similar ways. You can look all this up. If I were going to actually drink an energy drink, I would drink one with real sugar, no corn syrup, moderate amounts, and salt. And if I had a terrible diet, you know, I would get the magnesium and potassium as well. I mean, that's not going to hurt. Now, one thing that the marketing people are saying is that our farm fields have depleted the amount of micronutrients. And that's true, but generally, it's a depletion of, like, 20%. So it's not like there are no micronutrients in your food. Modern food still has the majority of the micronutrients it always has. There may be one or two exceptions coming from one or two, specific source areas. But in general, that is a red herring. Just marketing hype. They're tricking you to take your money. They don't, if they're advertising that, they literally don't care about you. They care. Oh, turkey. Nice. Usually don't see turkeys out of season. They're usually kind of hidden in the woods. They're not out playing. They've already had their food. Anyway, think about that. Any company is going to cite a study that's essentially bull crap. They care more about your money than they care about you. Your body, remember, is made of all the stuff you put in it and nothing else. Your body is made of what you put in it and nothing else. It can't be made of anything else, right? So, every molecule, except for some brain cell molecules, came from your food or drink or the air you breathe. The air has carbon dioxide. I don't know if humans can fix meaning take out of the air and put it into organic tissue. I don't think the human body can pull carbon right out of the air and convert it to human body. You get that from plants and animals. But oxygen in your body, right, is definitely used to process the CO2, turn that into carbon. So oxygen, literally, molecules in your body do come from the air you breathe and are converted to human body. Just don't know if any CO2 is converted. My guess would be that it definitely is, but that's a guess. I'm sure the biology folks who are also awesome dirt bike riders probably know the answer. Now the temperature I'm riding in, I've got my temperature probe in the back of my backpack, my vest. It's gonna read a little high, artificially high, because it's up against me. But when I pulled in, At 8 o'clock, I think it was 76 degrees. So think about that. On a 97-degree day, I'm out here riding 76 degrees, low humidity. Pretty awesome. Just by getting up a little early. You know, I used to surf a lot before work. You know, it's called dawn patrol, right? There's no reason you can't dawn patrol in the woods. Get out here at sunrise, get your ride in, put the light back on the back of your truck or your trailer, dump a gallon of water over your head, and I wore a suit in those days. So me and my buddies would put our suits, business suits back on and go back to work. It was a little embarrassing when you leaned over the boss's desk to show him some report and water came pouring out of your nose as you lean your head forward, your sinuses dump all that salt water on his desk. But thankfully, he didn't like it, but he didn't try to stop me from surfing. Remember, I don't know if you saw it there, but that water has a ton of drag. I wheeled over that first whoop-de-doo, and then the back tire went deep in that water and really slowed me down. So when you hit water at speed, be prepared for the drag. All right, got on the bike. Race me. Out here after that rain. Yeah, when you see me at speed going to the right or left of a puddle, it's not because I don't want to get wet. I'm happy to get wet. Sometimes I get wet on purpose. It's just that I want to maintain my speed if I'm going a little faster. And I also don't know how deep the puddle is. And I've been surprised out here, gone through 10 puddles that were 4 inches deep, and then hit one that was a 1.5 feet deep. Planted the front wheel, gone over the bars. Ended up taking some cut chunks of wood and filling up the deep muddy rut for the next guys and for me in the future, and that took care of it. But yeah, we've had a few, especially when they used to just keep the trails open all the time. It would rain, the trails would be open no matter what. People would come out here in four-wheelers and quads and just rut this place out unbelievably, like Carolina Adventure. Going that way instead of cutting the trail there, because that's the way people are going. You know me, I try not to cut the trail whenever possible. That's kind of become the trail. Go to this last exit on the loop. If you go right there, you'll return a shorter route back to the parking lot. Look up the loops on the Forest Service map, and you'll see there's several ways to cut your trail short. 5 miles, 11 miles, 14 miles instead of the full 19. I gotta say, I'm just enjoying this awesome dirt and the way the bike's running. I guess at this level of riding, I'm still going to have some food
giving it gas. If you look at my heart rate, you can see I'm barely warmed up. Really just practice on using as little energy as possible. And it's not hot today, so my heart doesn't have to work nearly as hard to try to cool my body. Like this. I don't know if there's less people riding or just a brave batch of squirrels this year. Spider went right to the face, y'all, but I don't think the spider ended up on my hill this time. It is one of the hazards. Ooh, I smell skunk. I haven't smelled a skunk in a long time. I don't know if they're endangered or had a lot of rabies, but like I used to smell, 4 or 5 skunks a year on the highway. I cannot remember the last time I smelled one. Maybe last year in the woods here, I smelled one time. But I swear, maybe look that up. See if there's for some reason we're losing our skunk population. They're very important to the ecosystem, and I like skunks. I don't want one to spray me. But I like the fact that they're out here. I want to make sure they stay out here. Cool animals, beautiful animals. Just think, if skunks didn't spray, everybody would want one for a pet. And when you see one, they go, "Oh, little skunk, it's so beautiful." Now that's a big if. But psychologically, if they can smell, personally, I think they're a beautiful animal. And the babies are just as cute as can be. I've had friends that got babies, and had the scent glands removed, had them as pets up in Northern California back in the day, but that was like in the 70s. I think you can't get away with that these days. It's sand trail season. We are blessed to have a very good crop in our yard in about 4 different places. So I can pick those knowing that they haven't been exposed to any kind of fertilizer, anything like that. And what I do is chop them kind of fine, saute them in butter, eat them as a side dish, butter and salt, or I'll add them to a stew. Maybe make some bacon, saute them up with bacon grease, and then add that whole thing to a stew. Man, the skunk trails are really, they're the gold of the forest, that's for sure. They're really a tasty mushroom, super easy to identify. The only real false chanterelle, if you just take a couple of moments to learn about it, it's clear that it's not a chanterelle. Yeah, so normally I'm hauling out through here. Just not feeling it today. I'm enjoying this easy ride. And I don't want to hit these puddles at a high speed. I don't mind I've said it many times, and lately they haven't been here, but there should be 2 puddles. Oh, holy crap. Tree down. Okay, wow. Wow, right inside. As soon as you get in the woods here, so you gotta really watch out for that, folks. Oh, tree in front of me. Maybe the best way around. I think people have gone this way in the past. Go straight through here. Okay, so there's a tree very close to the entranceway. What, 30 feet? Big tree. Maybe the experts will jump that tree. You could go right through here and jump the tree. I'm probably going to go right through here and just go around, and then yeah, back on the trail. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, folks, I don't know if you can see it, but there are tons of mosquitoes. Here we go. Look at these little boogers. I'm surrounded by them. We are in the low country, right? So they call it low country for a reason. It's low lying, it stays wet. It's been raining. It's the time of year when the mosquitoes are out. Really, they bite all the way up until the temperature drops to about 50 degrees, right? You can almost be guaranteed there won't be any mosquitoes out at 50 or lower. So we won't see 50 degrees until probably October. Every once in a while, September might get a cool month, cool night, but very, very rare. My expectation is it will be October before I can camp comfortably without bug spray on. Whew. So what I've done is cut a little path so people can see it to go around. Better riders and better conditions, you can just go right here and just jump over that. I could do that, but I'm not going to try it. I just don't feel like it today. I'm in the most mellow mood. Oh, I did my rings, you know, because of all the spooge. And take a look. I'm 10 miles in, and I'm sure there was some spooge in the pipe still, because I did not repack it yesterday when I changed the rings. I did repack it about a month ago, but since then I filled it up a couple of times, you know, it had spooge going all the way down the pipe. So whew, this is a great reason to do a sight lap, right? Normally right by here I'm going 40. Imagine trying to stop. If you're going 40, you come into these woods and you see that big tree. You might have to lay it over, you might go shooting over the bars, you might go off into the woods. Lots of bad things can happen. So, a sight lap, if you haven't been somewhere in a long time, I think is essential. And I learned my lesson on the big whoop-de-doos that we went over today in the power lines. I hit those after not riding them for a couple of months. And I've been riding them between 45 and 50 or 30, maybe 40 and 45 miles an hour. I hit one wrong and, you know, G'd out, went off the back of the bike, bent my bars literally down to here. It was crazy. So, for the most part, until next time I make a mistake, I've learned my lesson about taking a sight lap. Oh. Took a bunch of wood right there. When that tree fell, a bunch of wood fell on the trail. And wow, look at this. There's a lot of junk on the trail. If you've never been here, or if it's been, you know, right here, off usually a deer. There's one of those tunnels I keep talking about. Those can get really bad during the rainy season. But usually a deer is about the biggest threat. But a lot of trees are down. If you're flying through here, there's just enough of a, like this, look at this. There's enough of a turn.
10.0 miles.
That was so lame. No reason for that. I'm just in a lame mood today. So as I was saying, it's important to do a sight lap because you never know what you're going to find right in the middle of the trail. And not doing one can be very costly in parts of the trail that you go really, really fast on. Remember, twice the speed is 4 times the energy. The energy in that bike and rider's system is 1/2 times the mass, meaning basically my weight and the bike's weight. 1/2 times the mass times the speed, velocity, squared. Twice the velocity, 4 times the energy. 4 times the energy that if you hit a tree has to be absorbed by you and your body when you come to a complete stop. If you go from 40 miles an hour, it's 1/2 mv squared. M is mass, which is essentially weight. V is velocity, which is speed, same thing, interchangeable for our purposes. And you hit a tree head on, and you go to a stop, every bit, 1/2 mv squared is converted to heat energy, violence in your body, right? Shock wave into your body, eventually lost to the atmosphere as heat. So anywhere you're going to go fast, sight lap. Yeah, I think I was just lazy and I didn't even downshift. I mean, some days, you guys see me, some days I'm a madman. Some days not. I don't know why. You know, my body sometimes is just performing. I did have a really, really hard day yesterday, working at 100 degrees for about 9 hours. Look at that, another one. There's just tons of stuff on the trail here. More stuff. Side lap is essential. See where the water floating in this trail. Is a little bit of erosion. Another tree by the side there. Widowmaker hanging in the air. About 10 feet in the air. Those are those widowmakers that you don't camp under. Look up widowmaker and camping. That's when you got a big dead limb. A big dead tree that falls partially over and you're camping underneath it and you get a little wind in the middle of the night and the thing falls on you. More squirrels. Woo! Great day for squirrels. Squirrels and mosquitoes are out today. Yeah, that needle. The needle feels just a little bit lean in this cool weather. But I know when it warms up, this bike's going to be a different animal. So I'm going to leave it getting alone for now. I guess you could get mildly rich. Perfect for winter, mildly rich in summer if you only rode in the early mornings when it was cool. This is the way I can do that. Sometimes I have to go to my office and work, you know, until 4, and then haul butt down to the track and get in a ride before it gets dark. This time of year it's great because it doesn't get dark till, you know, 8:45 or something. Pilot jet is slightly rich, even with 2 turns out on the air screw. The needle is pretty good. I think the main is very good. 168. Needle NED like Delta J. Clip number 2. Clip position on needles for your carburetor, it's just, there's a little C-clip that determines how deep the needle goes into its hole. The deeper, the richer. Yes or no? The deeper, the leaner. So if the clip is at the top, position 1, remember, numbers from the top down, then your needle goes further in, and your bike runs leaner. 5 clips. 3 is a common clip that people like to have a needle working at, because then you can adjust the clips up or down without having to buy a new needle based on temperature. I just have a second needle. I like to go a half a clip leaner in summer on my needle. Do a half a clip. I use a needle that's already set up. NEDJ2, half a clip leaner, then NECJ3. NEDJ needle is half a clip richer at the same position. So you go 1 position up, right? You've gone from richer at the same position, half a clip richer, a full clip width, half a clip leaner, the leaner clip position on the richer needle. How about that? Go to Comfort Talk and read about it. There's a great thread on Suzuki needles. I run Suzuki needles on my YZ Keen carburetor. KIEHN carburetor Keen. The YZ has since like 2005. I have a couple of them, you know, spare. I'm used to jetting those. I don't want to learn how to jet a new carburetor. I like the way this carburetor runs. If it ever becomes hard to jet, I know I've got a backup. This is my least favorite part of the North Trail here. It's fairly dry. Something smells really good. Something blooming in these woods. So there we go. We got another chunk of wood on the trail. Anyway, fairly. This is a dry, sandy area. Now, after this rain, this is pretty darn good conditions, right? This is as good as this area gets. I like it. I would like it all the time, but it doesn't stay this way. In summer, right, it dries right out. Dusty and slippery. be riding really good in the parts of this trail that have a little more dirt, a little less sand, stay a little moisture in the woods, and then you hit this stuff and you're sliding all over the place. It's just not as fun. More work. Not as fun. Still a lot of fun. I'm spoiled, right? I like the parts that I like best. Right now, holy smokes, it doesn't get much better. Ride this loop twice, take a little break, drink some water, just to get my workout in. That's one of the dangers of lugging a little too much. Normally I would just gas through that, but you know, I'm lugging it and I'm going slow. So if I'm one gear higher than that, now I can smell gas. What tire should be loose? There we go. So if you pick up your bike and you smell gas, I've said this several times, it's flooded, it's a carburetor, right? Don't pump it, just hold your gas full throttle. There's a lot more air in there to go with that fuel that's in there already. It clears out your flooding. I think I had a stick in my wheel. I could hear it go bam. And all that dirt and sand. When we first started, my hands got pretty numb. You know, you gotta ride in the area you haven't been in a while. You start gripping too tight. I'm lucky not to get arm pump, but I can get some numbness in my fingers. Getting off the bike and all that's gone, and I'm pretty relaxed now. You know, I doubt that'll come back. All these red marks, these stumps. Chris and Stephanie, our old host, the best host we ever had, Wambaw Trail Riders, they got a non-profit. They can get matching grant money. Go on their GoFundMe, give them a little money, because they can get up to, I believe it's 3 times matching funds. So like if they raise $1,000, they can get $4,000 for trail maintenance, marking stumps, pulling roots, equipment to maintain the trails, that kind of stuff. They've worked so hard to get sponsors to help them make the trails the best they can be. Nobody I've been riding here since I believe 13. No one has worked as hard for the benefit of people who ride these trails as Chris and Stephanie. And I really would have loved for them to get a concession on the trail. But, you know, a non-profit providing trail maintenance will still get a lot of benefit that they would have provided if they were still out here as hosts. They were great hosts. And they're just great people. They're really great people. For those that don't know it, Stephanie set the record for female drivers on Pikes Peak in a Dodge Viper. I believe she was the first woman to get a motorcycle drag racing license as well. I don't know if she was the first. I think she was, but she definitely had a motorcycle drag racing license. And she's just a sweet lady. And I say lady, she's younger than me by a good bit. She's a wonderful woman, and she and Chris are just best people on earth. Some of the best people I know. And definitely, look at this. They fought really hard to keep the trails open, and keep the trails maintained, and keep people safe. Nice. Get a little bit of speed, that wind just feels so good and cool. I've gotten so much joy. Sheer pleasure just riding this beast, while at the same time, an incredible amount of fitness. So good, such a stress reliever. Some technical stuff, you know, learning about how to maintain it. It's got a nice little hit when you want it. You're in the middle. Mellow when you want it to be mellow. I don't think there's anything I've done sports-wise, exercise-wise, brought me as much joy, just pure joy, right? Being on this bike brought me lots and lots of pure joy. Great fun to share with other people. I love to have my little YouTube channel with a few people who watch it. Introduce people to these trails. Give older people, you know, hope that they've been off the bike for a while, they can get back on it. Remember, I was off of dirt bikes from the age of like 16 until 53, I think. No, 50, until I was 51. I had a YZ250 as a kid, as a teenager, right? But I rode street bikes after I became an adult. I was in the military. I was not, you know, in areas where I could ride trails easily, and I just rode street for 12 years. And then my wife, who's a nurse, convinced me that to stop because he worried so much about me being exposed to those kind of injuries that you can get in the street. You can get hurt out here for sure, but you're nowhere near as likely to get killed when you crash as on a street bike. Right? In the dirt, break a shoulder, break your wrist, tweak your knee. On the street, you do all that while bouncing off of a high-speed vehicle. As my wife said, a fender bender could be brain injury, cripple for life, or death. So I don't think she minds taking care of me when I have a knee surgery, but imagine if I had a traumatic brain injury and she had to take care of me the rest of our lives, and that's how she had to spend the last 20 years of her life taking care of a brain dead husband. You can't be a husband to her, and I feel for people who have to do that. Talk about the strength it takes and the tragedy. And I know I'm going to lose some people who ride street. I'm not saying don't ride the street at all. And I'm not saying you can't manage it as safe as you can manage it. But out here, there's no other cars. On this one-way trail, there's no bikes coming to hit me. I'm dodging trees. Those trees aren't going 40 or 60 miles an hour in my direction. So, for me, it wasn't worth the stress it caused my wife. And while I miss it a bit, I don't miss it a lot. Because I ride dirt. I get my thrill in the dirt. You replace one exciting addiction for another. This is what happens to me. Have a little lower level of risk, of severe risk. You might be more likely to crash on a dirt bike and get an injury. I don't know, I haven't looked at the specs. I'm probably more likely to. You guys see me fall over every ride. Not every ride, but 50-50. But not generally at a high speed. I'm not falling over in a corner going to the sand. Alright, running water. That's pretty rare out here. That's a treat. If I don't have spooge running all the way down the pipe with this kind of riding, I'm going to say that the ring job was a success. Incredible success. This dirt, I just can't get over how good it is. I apologize for everybody tired of having me say another turkey, or it could be the same one. I'm sorry, buddy. These trails actually go pretty close to each other. The loop, I mean, the trail on the way in is really, I think, right up there. So he could actually be the same turkey that we saw earlier. Kind of cool. I think that was a hen. I say he. I don't think it was a Jake. I think it was a hen. Oh, that was about where the turkey was where the trail, the early exit loop comes back into this trail, where the two merge. I think the sign is down. Usually there's a sign right there. Look at all these turkeys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 turkeys. Nice. Wow. People, I hate the sight of a clear-cut forest after logging. Thankfully this isn't completely clear, but anyway, a logged forest, right, can be hard on the eyes. But by the second, really the end of the first year, so much wildlife benefits from that. It's incredibly good for wildlife. I don't know if seeing those turkeys is just a byproduct of having fewer trees in the way, or it's pretty better. But all is not lost when a forest is logged. There's actually a lot of benefits. Wildlife. Looks about right in the cannery. You get spoiled by those bowl turns and 4-foot high berms, right? Another one of my very favorite parts of the forest. You go from that open into this closed canopy. Nice windy turn, real dirt mixed with sand, not pure sand. Some berm action. A little tree dodging. Last time through here, there was a pretty big tree leaning over the trail on the right up here. I'm guessing Chris Stephanie probably already cut it down. Yeah, it's gone. So, I brushed up just the first time through. I'm kind of flying through there haphazardly. Right in here when there's water on the trail. In other places, there's normally quite a bit of water down here. So not today, I'm a little surprised, because it's usually one of the wetter parts of the trail when it is wet. Not much today. As much as we saw in some of the other parts, I'm a little surprised. I don't know if the logging has changed the drainage a little bit, or what. Maybe a little more of the water evaporates than it was before. That you might not see is that big old tree. But Chris and Joe got some maintenance in there, cut some drainage, and it doesn't flood anymore. You guys really know what they're doing. You see the water along the side of the trail, but not on the trail. I don't know how they do it. And I'm sure there's a science and an art behind it. A little bit of both. Oh yeah, there was that one giant puddle crossing over the power line in one spot. You got to be careful of that too. Deep enough to slow you down before you hit the next one. Sounds so good. Truck that is. I don't recognize it. Alright, so that's 19 miles. I think I'm going to ride it again. That was fun. Nice idle too. Everything's working good. All right, moment of truth. 18, 19 miles. How much spooge did we end up with? Not bad. 4 inches. I'm happy with that. As much as I was lugging, I'm very happy with that. That was awesome. Whew. Very nice. Thank you, YZ Doc. You're the man. Oh, I'm gonna pause, get some water. All right, nice little cooling off. Gonna go out and hit the loop again. Probably go about the same speed, just a little faster. Get a good workout. I want to show you something. We got a lot of wild grapes here in the south, so check these out. I don't know if these are scuppernons, scupperdines, but it's been a good year. At Manchester, I've got a video coming out of Manchester showing some wild blueberries. Blueberries are native to our state. And of course, tons and tons of grapes. We had a grapevine that went up over our pool, climbed an old oak tree. The vine itself was about 3 inches around. And it would drop thousands and thousands of grapes, turn our pool deck purple. So even though it kind of broke my heart, we finally trimmed it. We kept the vine down low, but we trimmed it out of the tree because it was just so crazy. If that tree were anywhere else, there's no way I would ever cut that. But maybe it'd been there since the 50s when my house was built. I don't know, maybe before that, who knows. I don't know how big grapevines get, how fast, but it's a beauty. Now that grapevine wood, the thickest part that we cut off, I cut into chunks like this big around and this thick, and dried them for a year, split them up in little pieces, and when I would run the smoker pork tenderloin, I would use that grapevine as my smoke source. And it's by far the best wood for pork tenderloin that we've ever used. We tried maybe 20 different kinds. Nah, let's say 10 different kinds. Let's say 7 different kinds. But anyway, grapevine is the best for pork tenderloin that I've ever had by far. And you can really tell the difference. It added a slight citrusy, as you might imagine from grapes, a slight citrusy flavor in the smoke. And man, it's delicious. All right, let's go. We call this a workout lap, right? I'm gonna go get a ride. I'm warmed up. Probably gonna ride it, you know, 70% in most places, 60% in some places, 80 or 90 in other places. But I'm not gonna try to ride at 90% the whole time. I'm going to ride fast enough to enjoy it. Warming up a little bit. I would guess it's 80 degrees now, maybe. But I got my hair wet again, and so I'm getting that evaporative cooling, and feel pretty cool right now. I know I'll be hot out on the trail a little bit by the time we're done, especially if we don't stop. Mike says, thank you so much for riding me earlier in the day. As does my body. One thing, if you take a good rest, you might come back on the trail and mistake energy for talent, which I tend to do. Like, whoo, I got so much energy. But next thing you know, you're sliding out of the corner or bouncing off the tree. So I have to self-regulate. It doesn't always work. My risk is lowest when it works and highest when it doesn't. This bike, I gotta say, man, that 168 main jet, it loves these conditions. The bike's making tons of power. Great fun. it can be really addictive, right? It's like, woo, ah! And you just get addicted to that whine and stroke howl. Some rider's buried so deep there, his boot's upside down. Working right. For anybody who's ridden horses, it's like when you're riding a really good horse, and the two of you are just in tune. I grew up part of my life in Northern California. Horses that they ran wild, but they were trained. They were saddle broken. We were riding barefoot with just a piece of rope figurated around their muzzle. And the bay I rode she was a little bit moody. She might going down a steep hill, slam on brakes and then step on you on her way by after you go over her head. Kind of like this bike. But when she was in a good mood, she knew you were taking her to place where she might get Napa or something. She was extremely sure-footed in the Mokelumne River Canyon. It can be a very steep canyon in parts. She was extremely sure. She wasn't a mule sure-footed, but for a whole horse, she ran those canyons. And she would go all the way to the bottom, all the way back to the top. In a day, think nothing of it. She really knew how to run those canyons. And the bike, when I'm really cranking on the bike, everything feels good. It kind of reminds me of riding her. Everything works together so well. Right now, the temperature's perfect. It's getting the conditions. I'm warmed up. Our soil is really just sand with some dirt, organic matter mixed in, mostly sand. miles back to trail. Whatever. I can tell the trail has dried out a little bit. This is my first loop. The front end slides a lot more. I gotta get back on the rear of the bike a little more on the corners and let the bike find its way around. I'm trying to steer around it with the tires. Time on this side of the power line. Little short ride, you cross right back over. Section here. They moved the trail a little bit a few years ago, so it's not quite as many well-cambered turns, not as many berms. You guys on this other bike hit that log going into the tunnel. And the drag from this puzzle, man. That little oak tree is fairly, limb is loose because it bounced off my boot. This limb punched out of the way. So it's not one of those long branches that hammers you unexpectedly. Going back to the drop. About 10 miles to go. In the video, my front end slide ramp corners. This is up on the off-camber bank. Again, went in that puddle and really sank. That's a fairly deep puddle. I mentioned the first time around. It might be where people are digging in after slowing down on that corner, accelerating out the corner, digging a hole, making that puddle fairly deep. And one thing about lugging, you're gonna lug it. It's a lot harder to save yourself with throttle. You can't get that back tire spinning, kicking out. So, if I feel myself lugging a little too much, then it starts to get windy. I'll try to remember to downshift the fourth. With a little clutch, the fourth gives me a whole lot more. Remember, these YZX gears are a lot wider in the YZ. Fifth gear doesn't have nearly the torque at the speed, at the RPMs I'm hitting these corners. Fourth gear. And also the gearing, the wheels is not going to spin. RPM. When you hit full throttle. When you're going slow. And fourth. Way lower than third. Shot trails, don't eat those. Shot trails are funnel shaped. Look them up. Look up videos. About that color. Those could be edible. I have no idea. So there's no way I would touch them without a spore print. That's where you put the mushroom on it with some paper. Let it drop the spores, let it dry a little bit. Analyze the spores in the microscope. One of the most reliable ways of identifying fungi. You got the way it looks on the outside, and you got the shape, size, characteristics of the spores. Don't verify if you think you've got something. Trails are like the morels of South Carolina, right? They're amazing. Y'all good? Oh. There's a big tree across the road up ahead. Huge tree, like it's right when you go through the whoop tunnel, like 30 feet in. It's this big around, it's this high off the ground.
Oh, okay.
So I cut a little trail to the left of it. You can jump it on the right side, but it's kind of wet.
Gotcha.
So anyway.
You can go around Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, man. Huh?
You can go around it to the left?
You can go around to the left, yeah. It's a little like, you know, just, I took the little trees out. Yeah. It's pretty straightforward.
Better than smacking into it. Thank you, man.
Now there's a few other trees on the road, but they're all little. Yeah. You can bounce right over them. But that thing's a beast. And you know, normally you're going 40 miles an hour when you hit those woods. And I took it easy this first lap. right? You hit these woods, you're hooking it, and then boom. There's no time. Tire guy technique. I put all my weight forward. When I hit that little tree, I kind of also jumped it, but I was already all the way forward. I couldn't tell if the back came up at all, but if it did, I was all the way forward. My butt was nowhere near the seat. Facebook. They can put that tree on Facebook. I'm so glad I grew up splitting wood and manual labor. You end up with a nice strong grip to carry you through the rest of your life. And also literally you have larger bones in order to do that. And the appendages that you work hardest with, the bones grow thicker. If they when archaeologists find people like in Old England, let's say a knight, right-handed knight, who's really well trained with a sword, uses a sword a lot, he's going to have much thicker bones on his right arm, much thicker than the left, maybe 30%. So you get bone growth in response to the stress. That's why MMA guys, right, you can't start out and get your shin kicked by an MMA guy. They've got years to strengthen the shin, to numb the nerves. They'll drop to the ground crying, man. Never happened to me, thank you. Based on what I hear and read and see from those who do it and know it. I'm just repeating what the experts who do this for a living say. And I believe it, right? speaking from authority is rational when that authority actually is an authority. The false speaking from authority is when you say, you know, well, he's the president, so he must know physics better than a physicist because he's the president. Well, that's false authority, right? It's a fallacy, meaning an argument that doesn't work. It's a flawed argument. It does not support the case when you're quoting authority on something they don't know. I'm not going as fast as I normally do on those. Not that kind of day. That branch there is also not just red. It moved, it bounced off my boot. I saw it wasn't very long. It was dry. Oh, now that one, man, watch out for that thing. It's got a little bite to it. I must have barely grazed it the first time, and then that time hit it a lot harder. Because the first time through it didn't seem like much. It gave me a false sense of security. California buddies back in the day. Those haircuts. Might just be the style, I don't know. Guys, if you see my video, you guys that I warned about that tree, please give me a comment. I want to see, let me know who you are and where you're from. Unless you're on a secret mission. Remember the first time through here, I was barely moving. I'm not doing much better now. But first time through, I had nothing. See how close I cut those corners instead of going wide? That tells you how slow I was going. Right? So I'm going much wider on every corner, pretty much, than the first time through. That's one quick, easy way of gauging how you're doing. If that's the way you ride, I tend to ride that way. If I'm going slow, I cut corners. A little faster. Dirt. What a day. So I'm not my carcass is done. enhancement is your boot. It can knock your, one, it can knock you off the bike. But two, it can twist your ankle. Three, it can kick out your rear end and send you off the trail, careening at speed into whatever you can't avoid. So, thank you, Chris and Stephanie, for marking those. I'm going to call them Widowmaker stumps, right? We talked about Widowmaker trees, hanging trees. You got Dr. Helper stumps, right? Even though I cleared that last time, I still sent a little electric shock to go under at any kind of speed. I didn't doubt we would make it, I wouldn't have done it. There used to be so mushy, that sand. I picked it up over the years. It's gotten better and better. I don't think that is dirt. I've done it other than knock down the whoops. Okay. Back in quiet mode for a little while if I can stand it. My buddy once, and we were landing up near the Grand Canyon. And I talked myself through the entire landing. The whole checklist, I said it out loud. You know, carburetor heat, flaps 20%, RPM X, you know, speed, whatever. Little lean, didn't it? When he does, I'll move out the way. Look how fast he must be going. I'm not flying, but make enough of a delta between me and catch up. That's pretty good. He must be hauling butt. I'd like to know who it is even more. got that water on my boot. I'm so surprised. It raked up my boot. So competitive. Like 61 years old, trying to compete with that guy. That's insane. Have that guy beat and kill him. Just go my speed, ride my loop, my comfort zone. Going through. I don't need to keep up. To tell you the truth, I'm pretty happy that there's a part of me that still has that in him. I like that competitive guy at this age. I'd hate to be 100% done. Unmoved by excellence. I want to be moved by excellence. I want to keep it. I want to do anything. Not to be him, but have that level of skill. Many times translates to that level of fun, right? The more skill, the more fun. In some cases. At least maybe for yourself, right? As you get better, you have a great time at the beginning at a certain skill level, and then you improve. And you get that feeling of accomplishment back at that new skill level. His friend's a little slower. We have to wait for him. I was going to say him, but I don't think it's Brent. I hope he doesn't catch me again, but if he does, more power to him. I gotta say, man, this suspension can handle everything I can and a whole bunch more. There's no way I can really tax it. My riding. Amazing, that one little section of water. Shit. Damn it. Oh my God, I'm out of gas. Oh, so close. First time I ever ran out of gas. I knew I was pushing it. Damn. All right, we're gonna cut the feed for a second. Maybe those fellas will come along and help me out. Otherwise, it's a push, but I'm pretty close. I think it's a half a mile. Woo! All right, so I tipped the bike. I laid it over flat on the left side. Trying to get a little bit of the gas that was left in the tank. Well, you reap what you sow. I'm gonna try it again. So we get up on this little hill. Go all the way down.